Welcome friends, it's Ray. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I am making 5 cards with the Simon Says Stamp October card kit.
Okay, so I've taken a piece of the cardstock from the card kit and embossed the kaleidoscope design. Oh, that's really pretty. And I'm going to use some Hero Arts Butter Bar ink. It's giving me a tone on tone. I like that. So it is definitely giving some more texture and color to this embossed image. Okay, or embossed design. Lovely. We'll set that aside to dry. So I am placing a piece of 40-pound Bazzill Vellum in my Misty and my sentiment. And see if I can hold that better. Adding some anti-static powder. Heat that up with VersaFine Onyx black ink. Get my little dry eraser. And I think I'm going to stamp that once more. See what we get here. Let's try it one more time, see if we can get just a little darker.
I've stamped my sentiment 3 times on the vellum and will now apply some clear embossing powder.
Start at the back. And this vellum really withstands warping. Very good quality. And I don't know why I was trying to talk while the heat gun was on, but I was saying that this vellum really withstands warping. This 40-pound Bazzill Vellum. So I really love that. I will definitely link it below. All right, so now I haven't tried this before, and it may not work. So I'm lining up my speech bubble here. I think I better put a little repositionable tape on the back of that because this is such a thin line. I do have my Pixie spray now. Just got that in. But I wasn't thinking. Just doing what I'm used to doing, which is my repositionable tape. So I'm going to place this so that I'm trying to get my speech bubble over a little bit more. Let me see if this is going to work. My gold looks, I think I want more of a paper cushion. So let's see here. Okay. So what I want to do is, with a steady hand, it's not too steady, but I want to outline my speech bubble. See if I hold that without smearing. And go back around it, make sure I got it good coverage. Okay, all right. And let's remove that. Okay, that looks okay. And let's clean this gold from around the edges of the stencil. So I think the stamps that came in this cellophane wrapping. So Amy R. over at Prairie Paper and Ink has been making these flat shaker cards. And I wanted to try that. And what she does is she just uses the regular cellophane wrapping. And I think I first saw Nina who stamps for Simon Says Stamps. I think I first saw her do this, but Amy has been just really making what she calls the flat shaker cards, and they come out so pretty. Cut some of that cellophane wrapper, and then Tanya Bowser, who stamps for Trinity Stamps, did one of these recently, and I thought, okay, I've been eyeing Amy, and when Tanya did it, I said, okay, I'm going to see if I can do that in an upcoming video. Let's just, I could have cut this probably a little better, maybe with my paper trimmer, but we're just freehanding, and basically just I want about an inch on each side. Probably don't need quite as much. That's what I'm kind of eyeballing here. Okay, so then we're turning our panel over to the back, and we're going to add some double-sided tape. I think because I've got so much texture here, I'm going to add my 1/4 inch tape. Normally I would just use 1/8 of an inch, which I'm sure would be fine here, but this is just me wanting to make sure that my shaker elements don't round the corner. And you'll see what I mean momentarily. Okay, so got our double-sided tape on the edge of our panel. And then, let's see, let me find my, okay, so here's my cellophane. I'm going to just place that down. I think I'll do it the long way. And I need to go ahead and release 3 sides. And you can do the top or the side, but you want to leave one of them with the release paper on it. So I've released 3 sides, right? And then I'm going to place it face down, kind of center it on my cellophane, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold. It's really sticky. Fold one side up, adhere it to the cellophane, then I'm going to go ahead and fold. I was wondering about these corners. Okay, so got a good corner over here, and then we'll go ahead and crease that corner. That seems to help. And pull that over, and you want a snug fit. Okay, and leave the top open, or a side open if you want a side open. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my corner here. I don't think you need it, but I am gonna add just a little bit of tape, regular tape, to these corners. That's just me. I'm gonna trim out my speech bubble. And I did it on vellum because I didn't want it to stand out too much. I thought if I had it on white, it would just kind of stand out more than I wanted it to stand out. I want a sentiment, but I wanted to use the speech bubble since it came in, you know, the stencil, since it came in the kit. So this is where I landed. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my focal sentiment and fix that directly. So I'm going to use some tape runner on the back of my vellum. Okay, go ahead and place our speech bubble sentiment here. Yeah, and you can see that that does really well on the back of that vellum. Let's go ahead and put my shaker elements in here. These are let me see. Okay, I think I'm using these gold leaves that I got from Recollections. I thought they would go really nicely with this autumn card. Just place a few more in there. Okay, I think that's well enough. One here, let's put that in. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the top release paper and fold our top down or in. Then we can trim this off at the corner and this side at the corner, and much better. So, oh, that's really pretty. Okay, so now we need to add some more double-sided tape to the back and place this on a card base. So that's what we're going to do here. Put a piece here just because this has so much depth. I want to make sure that it stays fixed. Oh, lovely. Nice. Not enough shaker bits in there, that's for sure. So like this, I think the next time, this was my first one, but the next time I think my focal image won't be so large.
My small pumpkin ended up looking more red than orange. so dark. And I decided to use some Nuvo drops in Golden Sunset to lighten up that pumpkin. And I love the effect. I also added a few of those drops up top just to tie in that Golden Sunset drops.
Taking a piece of mustard cardstock from the kit and am adding this focal panel that I colored off camera with my alcohol markers, adding that to the panel. And yes, lovely. So now I'm going to place that onto my card base. I am going to bring in this Glitter Drops Golden Sunset by Nuvo. And then I will do a single drop here. Nope, 3 drops. So I placed my white panel inside of my Misty, and see, yeah, I think I want it this way with the 3 leaves up top, and then I want to place my sentiment in here. Yeah. Just put that there and use my acetate grid to line up my sentiment. I'll put it here. Yeah, I love that. Okay, tack that down, pick it up, put the door of my Misty. Okay, then let's move our wreath, and we will use some trying to think, do I want black or gold? I think I want gold for this. Get my VersaFine ink. Did it again just to be sure. Okay. And we'll do that once more. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. All right. That looks good. Simply the best. Better than all the rest. Okay, so I have a piece of twine that is, how long is that? About 8.5 inches. And I want to just tie a bow right about here. see. For sure. Yeah, right about here. Just double it. I could have cut another piece, but I don't want to. Okay, so this is what we'll do. Tie. Let's see, make sure that's almost even. Yeah. And tie our bow. Yeah, this is working much better. Okay, we'll make our loops a little smaller. Pull and tighten. So let's pull that a little bit more. Alright, that's fine. See if I can turn it. Yeah. And maybe make that just a hair. Okay. There we go. Okay, wasn't sure for a moment there if I would be able to use. Just trim that down. Well, actually, I'll keep it on for now and tie a knot. Use some foam tape to pop this up. Okay, I have trimmed out or added foam tape to my wreath, and now I want to make sure that I get my sentiment such that it can be seen. Trim my tails on my bow. Lovely. Oh, this is a craft panel, is 3 3/4 by 8, so it covers the entire card base. Lovely. Copper from the last kit and pale gold. See, these are copper stickles, liquid pearls. I think I'll place some of these on the inside. And right, I like that. Okay, that finishes this card. Lovely. Okay, I have run this through my die cutting machine with in the embossing folder, and a little overlap there because I'm making this a lot taller, but I am going to put my sentiment there. Let me try and get this lined up. Okay, let's see, I'm going to use this block to hold it down. Okay, and then I've glued the back of my sentiment strip, and then I'm going to line it up here. Then I am going to fit in, I've cut this twice and used my glue to affix it. So I am going to place glue on the back. And just fit that in inside my sentiment strip. Okay, that's good. I'm going to go through to my remaining letters. Okay, so I'm going to place this R in here. This also fits in there. I'm going to make sure that's fitted in. And then I can apply my adhesive to the back of this piece. Or really just put a drop in there. There, got it. And place that in. Press that down. Yay. Okay, got that up. Then we can remove this part of the R. And we'll do the same for our D. Place that in there. And let's see, there is a smaller D that I want to place inside of this larger one. Apply liquid adhesive. Place that inside, carefully inside. We're going to call that done. See if I can get this out. I have put double-sided tape on the back, partially released. Now I'm going to carefully mount this onto my mat. Actually put a little tape on the outer edges of this strip since I'm not cutting it down yet. Okay, so my matting is very thin, so I've got to make sure I get this just right. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, okay. That's good. Then I'll flip it over and trim that excess. It's got sticky on it.
I affixed my panel to my card base using double-sided tape.
This card inside, and I am going to stamp a sentiment on the inside. I think think I want to do this one or this one. Sending you strength and courage for today and happiness tomorrow. I think this one. Sending so many happy thoughts, I can't contain them all. Put my grid in here, and I'm going to start this down here. Make sure I've got about 4 squares on each side. That's how I know I've got it centered left to right. And then I can use the lines to line up the sentiment. Go ahead and grab that with the Misty door. And inside we'll use Hero Arts Intense Black ink. Awesome, love that. I think since this is so bright and shiny, I want to add some crystal drops, Nuvo crystal drops in liquid Mercury. It's a darker color, and it's non-metallic. So I'm thinking that will give a little bit of non-shiny interest. You know, we always want our cards to sparkle and glitter, or at least I do. And with this one, I've got more sparkle and glitter than I need. Okay, those get lost. Let's see, maybe you can see them now. All right, I think that's it for this card. I placed my white panel 3 1/4 by 8 in my Misty. I'm gonna use some anti-static powder because I want to heat emboss this. I'm going to use VersaFine Onyx black ink to stamp. Stamp my sentiment. Oh, and by the way, I cut the period off. I just didn't want that on my sentiment. But I can, if I want it at a later date, I can just add it back. Well, I'm only going to be able to stamp this once because I forgot to use my magnet. So hopefully got a good impression there. I didn't. So let's see if we can get that line back up. Let's see, looks pretty good. So let's try stamping that again. I do have the sticky mat, but the sticky is going away, so I'm going to need to replace it. Yeah. Oh, great. Got a perfect line up there. I'm going to stamp it once more. I just want it as dark as I can get it. And I am using a piece of 120-pound cardstock. I usually use 65 when I'm stamping and just use the 120 for my card base. But this was left over after cutting a card base, so I thought I would use it. Okay, so we're gonna heat emboss that with clear embossing powder. Well, we are going to bring in this embossing folder that was in the kit, Kaleidoscope, and we're going to place it such that, try and keep it straight, and I want to make sure I don't get my sentiment so that it looks good. I want it right above my sentiment.
I'm going to run this through my embossing machine.
Okay, so I actually meant to emboss using the top side, but I've got the deboss side. But I think down here I'm going to emboss. Flip this over and emboss on the emboss side. Okay, yes. All right, that's what I wanted. From Hero Arts, came in a pass kit. And let me just, it's been a while since I've used that. Okay, that's the color I want. And I'm going to just drag that around my embossing or embossed bottom. So here I brought out some twine from my stash, and I'm going to place that, some of it on the top, and let's see, so here, right where my embossing ends and above my sentiment. And so I have double-sided tape on the back, and I had to release it because at first I wasn't thinking of using this when I added my double-sided tape. So that's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. Make sure I have that down where I want it. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is just place just some regular tape on the back to hold that on each side, but I didn't want it to interfere with the sentiment, so I am tying it below the sentiment. Okay, and I want it on the side here. And just get some loops going. And I am going to tie that in a knot so my bow doesn't come apart. Yay. And it also brings my strings down to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and trim that. Okay. All right. Okay, then I'm going to move my release tape or paper back up and get that centered just where I want it, and then we'll go ahead and affix that. Oops, not a good thing. Okay, move that back, and it looks like I've got to pull some release tape here. Yeah, because it tore, which is okay. Alright, so far so good. Alright, so we've got the left side. Go ahead and remove the rest of the release paper. Okay, I am going to go ahead and place my little fox on the string, and I have popped him up with foam tape, and voila. Now I will bring in my Nuvo jewel drops in orange marmalade and just place some dots in the center of my, oops, that one's a little big, in the center of each of my stars. That's what I'm going to call them. We will set this aside to dry, but that finishes this card. I have decided to add the jewel drops to the bottom as well, because I added so many up top. I should have probably added 3, maybe 5 at the most, but I went crazy. So, at any rate, since I have less white space up here, I kind of need to tie in the rest of the card. So I'm going in with jewel drops for the bottom portion also. And that just ties it in better. Yes. So we'll let that dry.
Now let's take a look back at all cards I made in today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video and will give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, will subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, good day, friends.